All right, Shalom Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K on that commanding GEN.YAHANNA. This is the scripture breakdown class where we go into the Bible and we break down anything. So if anyone has a question on John 3:16, can the Gentiles be saved? Does God love everyone? You know what I mean? This is the class where you ask to have it answered. And of course, we'll go in the Bible and we'll show you the answer. You know what I mean? At the UPK, you know what I mean? We know this Bible, unlike your pastor, unlike your bishop, unlike your imam. You mean we know this Bible, and if you think we're wrong, there's only one thing you have to do: right where you think we are wrong, and we can show you in the Bible that we are right, man. It's not our opinion; it's what the Bible says. It's what thus saith the Lord says, man. So you know what I mean. With that being said, you know what I mean. First thing, do remember to pay 10% your tithes. You know what I mean? 10% of any increase you receive from the Lord, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people always talk about the like the work. Well, support the work, man. How can you like something and not support it? So you mean you paying that 10%, that's fundamental. You mean you feed the homeless, keep the lights on, keep schools running, man. And we spread this word throughout the four corners of the earth, man. So you mean pay your tithes. Also on a Monday at 1 a.m. you have the radio show by commanding GEN.YAHANNA. That's a powerful radio show that you don't want to miss, man. You mean the last angry black man, man. You want to hear his opinion, man. He goes into all the current events, all the things that need to be said, man, which your pastor won't talk about, which your vicar won't talk about, which your imam won't even talk about, man. Then on the Tuesday, you got the Brotherhood class done by Captain I.S.U.P.K. That's a powerful class on how blacks and Hispanics are meant to be, man. Meant to be loving each other. And when I say love, if you understand the Bible, love is the keeping of the commandments. It's not loves and hugs and kisses and walking hand in hand. Love is the action, and love is the keeping of the commandments. Then you got the Wednesday class, which is a law class. You know what I mean? In America, that'll be at 12 a.m. In the UK, that will be at 7 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's done by Officer Dumgabar. You know what I mean? It goes into law, breaks it down, picks it how, you know what I mean, we should not follow other gods, not bow down to idols. Any law in the Bible, he will get it, man, and make sure you understand it, man. Then you got the scripture breakdown class. You know what I mean? That's you done by Captain I.S.U.P.K. You know what I mean? And if you have any questions, bring it there and you'll get the answer. Then in America, 12 a.m., you got the Lashawan Kodash. That's the Hebrew tongue, the ancient language of every black man, every Hispanic man, and every native Indian man. And that's on the Friday at 12 a.m., man. And then on the Saturday, you have the Sabbath class where, you know, we read out of the law in the Hebrew, then we translate it into the English. Also on a Monday, the 18th, we have the Feast of Purim. So, you know, you don't want to miss that. You want to be here. The address is 394 Lodge Road. The postcode is B18 5PW. So make sure you're here, man. If you're in the UK, I don't care where you are, man. You're up in Moss Side, you're up in London, you're down in Southampton, you're up in Liverpool. You need to be here, man, with the men of the Lord. And you know what I mean? There's only one way to learn this Bible. If you learn from a man of the Lord, man, God ain't going to talk to you directly. You're not going to hear no voice out of the sky. This ain't that old Ottery adverts where the finger comes at the sky saying, this could be you. Like, you know what I mean? That don't happen, man. God talks to you by his men, by the men that he sets up. And those men are at the I.S.U.P.K, man. Hands down. So with that being said, let's get into some current events, man. What's that guy's name? Liam something. Liam Neeson. You know what I mean? A lot of people are in a uproar about it. You know, he said that how long ago? About 40 years ago, a friend of his was raped. So him being angry asked who was it. She didn't know who he was, but she knew that it was a black man. So him with his racist self for a week, not for a day, for a week, went around like black communities, black bars, looking for a black man to, what they say, unleash his rage on. You know what I mean? So he was doing that for a week. Now, the problem is people are trying to defend him, saying he's not racist, he's an honest man. And what did that guy say? He deserves a medal for like what he said, a medal for being racist. Like, that's shocking, but you know what I mean? That shows how racist he is. People always talk about the UPK. You say all white people are bad, but look what he's doing. He didn't say, I wanted to find the black man that rapes a friend of mine. He went for a week in black areas looking for anyone. He had he had a weapon on him, waiting for a black man to start with him. So he don't feel that way. People get at us, UPK is racist. All white people ain't the same. You're saying God's gonna put all white people into slavery. Yes. And then you mean you look at us as we're evil. Meanwhile, look at him. He wanted to unleash his rage. That's what it says on any black man, not the one that raped his friend. On any, he was around for a week, hoping a black man would start a fight with him, man. So while you're angry at us, white people feel the same way, man. He's not saying, okay, it's one day I'm angry. To be honest, I don't even know who the guy even is. What am I thinking? I can't just beat up anyone. If you're doing it for a week, what is in his mind? All black people are rapists. All you are the same. If I get any one of you, I've got the person that raped her. That's what he's thinking. But the thing is, a lot of people, they're too afraid to even say that. He's not just thinking about the one that raped her. He's thinking, anyway, all you lot are rapists. So it's whether I harm you or the one that had done it. Who cares? Because all you wags are the same, man. That's how he's thinking. Because
he didn't ask her what is like, what color is he? So straight away, he's thinking about color.
They have it. He's asking if he's tall, short, afro, cane rolls. He's like, look, man, is he black? All right, then I'm going to a black area and I'm gonna get me a wag tonight. You know what I mean? I'm getting him. So you know what I mean? So it is a racial thing. You didn't want him directly. You just know, well, the person that raped is black. I just want revenge on any black man. And he's going around to black bars and black nightclubs, hoping someone would start a fight with him. And that shows how much of a coward he even is. Why would you want to fight a black man who's drunk, who's intoxicated, he's at a bar? Don't you want to take your anger out on someone who's sober, someone that gives you a good fight, that you go, yes, you mean you raped man, you mean I'm much stronger than you. Well, you mean, wouldn't you like to do it like that? Wouldn't you like to feel strong? But you want to go to a pub where a black man's had way too much and you want to unleash your rage on him, though. You know what I mean? So even that alone shows you how much of a coward he really is, man. Have you got the article for me? Yeah, you know what I mean? We'll read some of that then. We'll get into the Bible as well.
Liam Newsom says he's not racist.
And you know what I mean? We need to let that go, man. Just because someone says I'm not racist doesn't mean they're not racist, man. People also, I'm not racist. I've got a black friend. You know what I mean? My Indian next door neighbor, me and him get on fine. What does that mean? To be racist, you can have a black friend, but regardless of that, you think you're better than him. Yes, he's your friend, but you think I'm better than him. He wishes he was white like me. I'm smarter. That doesn't mean nothing. Read on.
Liam Neeson has denied he is racist after admitting he once set out to kill any black man who provoked him.
There, so even he's saying it. So what's that guy, John Barnes? He don't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? We're reading it right from his mouth. He says, admitting to set out to kill any black man who provoked him. So he didn't want the person that just raped the friend of his. From as long as he found out they was black, he wanted to kill any black man. You know what I mean? He don't care whether the young, his size, smaller. Who cares? From as long as they're black, he wanted them dead. So John Barnes, he might need to read it again. You know what I mean? I watched his interview. I read it, and it's not saying that. We are interpreting what he's saying. I'm reading it, and he's saying he wanted to kill any black man. Is that not racist? That is racist right there. You don't want to kill the one that raped her. You want any black man. That's racial. You want to know what that reminds me of? You watch those films, Roots, and what happens when like the white girl was having sex with a black man? What did they do? They went and killed any black man that they could get their hands on. They would basically take it out on him for what was done unto her, and he's doing the same thing, man. And that's racist. In the times of slavery, that guy was racist. He would take his anger on anyone who was black, and he's doing it right now. He's admitting that he was gonna do that same thing. So that is racial. But read on.
The actor has been facing a major racism storm since he made comments in an interview published by The Independent on Monday. He had said he walked into the streets with a weapon around 40 years ago, hoping to take out his anger after someone close to him was raped by a black man.
So yes, it was ages ago, but that shows his mindset. You want to just attack anyone or someone that raped a friend of yours. That's racist. And then, I don't know if it's in this article, he done it for a week. Meaning, that anger you had for black people, that was strong, man. You know what I mean? I know people that bad things happen to them, and I've been angry, and I've wanted to walk the streets. I don't do it for a week. You're angry for a day, and when you know what? I don't even know who this guy even is, man. I can't attack anyone. Even in my anger, I know, well, it's not right for me just to fight anyone. And then you let it go, and hopefully you hope that you find that person. But if you're doing it for a week, his mindset is racist, meaning, oh, you black people are rapists, and I want to get any one of you, man. His anger was hot for a week. That's how he feels like. Anyway, all of you lot are rapists, so it don't matter who I get. All of you lot are the same. He's painting all of us, you know what I mean, in the same way. Read on.
But speaking on ABC's Good Morning America, Neeson said, I'm not racist.
Yeah.
Neeson added that he wanted his original comments to start a wider conversation about racism. Asked what he wanted people to learn from his experience, he told the host to talk, to open up. We all pretend we're all politically correct in this country. In mine too, you sometimes scratch the surface and discover this racism, bigotry, and it there. So
he's admitting that he's racist. He's going that he's not even correct himself. Meaning, in this world, you're taught not to be racist. You're taught to love everyone. And he's admitting it right there that even in himself, he's not correct, meaning he's racist. And then saying, once you get to know someone, they have racism, bigotry. So for anyone to say he's not racist, what are you reading? What article are you reading? What interview are you reading? He's openly admitting that he's racist. If you want to read that bit again about when you scratch the surface. You mean, I don't know, maybe I'm reading it wrong. I don't know. Read that one more time.
We all pretend we are politically correct.
So we all pretend. So he's letting you know he's racist, meaning he pretends that he's politically correct, meaning I love everyone. We all bleed red. So that means he's letting you know that he's racist. But here's the problem. Because he thinks black people are nothing, that this interview wouldn't have the impact that it's had. You know what I mean? He had a Hollywood film, and he's even banned from the red carpet. You know what I mean? Because of the interview that he had. But he thought, you know what? I'm going to say what I want to say, and no one ain't going to hinder me. You know what I mean? I'm going to still act. I'm going to still do big roles. But he didn't know this would have the impact that it's had. So he's admitting there that he's racist. They mean that he's not correct himself. So for anyone to interpret it as he's not racist, what article and what interview are you reading, man? Read on.
In mine too, you sometimes just scratch the surface and discover the racism and bigotry, and it's there.
And it's there. So have in mind, I'm not taking this out of context right here. These are his words, and he's saying that it's there, meaning inside him, racism is there. So when he wanted to attack any black man, yes, he said that his friend got raped, but the racism in him made him go out there for a week. The racism in him made him want to provoke any black man to get into a fight with him so that he can unleash his anger. That's the racism. And he's saying it right there. You know what I mean? Am I alone? Am I misreading what he's saying? Read on.
The Hollywood star told ABC Robin Roberts on Tuesday that around 40 years ago, one of his close friends, female friends, who had since died, told him she had been raped. Neeson said it made him want to take a violent action. He said, I had never felt this feeling before, which was a prime urge to lash out, and I asked her, did you know the person? Was it a man? No.
Oh, whoa. So here's the problem. If you want to fight a black man, your friend said, you asked her, was it a man? And she said no. So it could be a black woman. There are some lesbians that rape too, you know, like, who knows, you know what I mean? But anyway, read on.
Race, she said it was a black man.
So that's a bit contradictory right there. Was it a man? No. Race, black man. How does that work? So you didn't know if it was a man before, but now it's a black man. Doesn't that remind you of anything?
Slavery.
Would anyone like to answer that? Slavery. You know what I mean? The woman having sex with you know what I mean, with the guy, knowing what she's doing, all of a sudden, I've been raped. I was in the barn with him and he undressed me and her clothes ain't even ripped, mind you, you know what I mean? But yeah, and he raped me and he couldn't resist. And then that black man gets burnt alive, gets hanged, you know what I mean? And that's the same thing there. So he asked her, was it a man? No. Race, black man. How does that work? You know what I mean? So if you can't see that it was a man, how do you know if he was in black? Surely anyone can tell the difference between a man and a woman. So if you don't know if it's a man or not, all of a sudden it's a black man. You know what I mean? The white man will always be the same, man. Give me that in the apocrypha. Never trust thine enemy, man. You know what I mean? What happened in the 1600s, 1700s? We saw it right there. Was it a man? No. Race, black man. But he asked you, was it a man? And you said no. But all of a sudden it's a black man. You know what I mean? For all we know, she probably even knows the guy, and it's probably some white man who she knew for a long time, but she doesn't want to get him knocked out. You know what I mean? Everyone looks at us like, you know what I mean? We can handle it. Like, yeah, just don't worry. You know what I mean? Just blame it on those black guys, man. They used to have oppression and heartache. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you have something crap here.
You're more times a black man that don't want no more.
It could be. It could be. You know what I mean? You can never say no. You know what I mean? But the part that bothers me, was it a man? No. Race, black man. Like, even him as a man, surely you're like, well, you don't know the ender, but all of a sudden it's a black man. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden you know now, all of a sudden. You got that for me?
Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Never trust thine enemy.
And that's the Bible, man. Never trust thine enemy, never. People think slaves in the past. Yes, the white woman did get black men killed and they was having sex with them, but she's doing it right now. He asked her, what's the gender? You know what I mean? If it was a man, no. Race, black man. That's the same thing, man. That is slavery right there, man. The same way a white woman would do in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. A woman did that 40 years ago, man, in the 1960s, man. Done the same thing, blaming it on a black man. First, you don't know, but now you know enough to know it's a black man, man. You know what I mean? People always throwing the blame on us, man. Read on.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
And that's heavy, man. With iron rusteth, you can galvanize it. You can do what you want. You mean, I used to do construction work, and iron always rusts, man. People, you know what I mean? They try to make the iron look as good as it can, ionize it, galvanize it, where you know what I mean, it's like a coat where it protects it from the rain, and even that don't work. You give that 6 years, the iron rusteth, man, and that's the white man. The same way iron rusteth, so is the ways of the white man. The same way he was in slavery, the same way they are now, man. The same way a white woman would lie and say, you know, this black guy raped me, even though she wanted him. She's doing that now, man. First, you don't know if it's a man or not. Now, all of a sudden, this epiphany came in her head where it was a black man. The same way iron rusteth, so are their ways, man. And even with the racism, you know what I mean? He wanted to get any black person for a week, not even for a day. Like, you know what? I don't even know who this guy is. What am I doing? You do it for a week. You're racist, man. Your anger towards black people burns that hot. You do it for a week. Like, I gotta get one of these wogs rape my friend. I'm gonna show them. Walking around thinking they're tough. You know what I mean? In his mind, we don't know. I bet you a ton of stuff was in his mind which he can't even say, man. But read on.
For as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And
so is his wickedness, man. You know what I mean? He said this thinking it wouldn't affect him. He said this thinking, you know what I mean? Who cares? But it had an impact that he wasn't expecting, man. He thought it's gonna have that interview. You know what I mean? Black people gonna complain. No white people wouldn't act upon it. But you know what I mean? He didn't expect it to go as far as it did, man. Why? Because he's used to people attacking us, offending us, and nothing happens. He's not the first. Many white people say racist things, and what happens? Everyone acts like, oh, black people, calm down, man. You lot are touchy. You lot are immature, man. But it never went his way, man. It never went how he thought it would go. And that's the problem. That's really what all of it comes down to, man. For hundreds of years, everyone's been dissing us, man. Making us feel this small, saying racist things. And what happened? Everyone's like, come on, black people, man. You're being stupid. And then what's heavy too is they're trying to even tell black people how they should receive it. And that shows what they think of us. Who are you to tell me how I should receive information, man? If I read something and it sounds racist, me as a black man, that's racist. You can't tell me you read it, it sounds racist, but he didn't mean it in a racist way. Don't take it like that. You're reading it the wrong way. I read it how I want to read it, man. And that's racist, man. Read on.
Though he humble himself.
And though he humbled himself, you know what I mean? After this happened, he's humbling himself. I'm not racist. I got black friends. You know, it was 40 years ago. I seen a psychiatrist. Like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean for us? It means nothing. You know what I mean? He's humbling himself, trying to like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. No, he's not. You know what I mean? He's trying to say that to keep his career in Hollywood alive, man. That's all he's doing. Though he humble himself, read on.
And go crouching. Yet take good heed and beware of him.
So even though he's humbling himself, take heed and beware of him. You want to know why? Because he doesn't feel sorry for it. He's sorry that it had the impact it had. That's what he's sorry about. But does he care about black people? No. Does he still have the anger? Yes. He's Irish. And let me tell you something. Irish people hate black people. In Ireland, they got racist jokes. You know what I mean? And it's normal. Racism in Irish towards black people, it's nothing. No one thinks you're racist. That's bad. It's acceptable. You know what I mean? So why would he feel bad? Why would he feel any type of way when he's from a country where dissing black people is the norm? You know what I mean? In Ireland, you got Africans there and they beat them up, make racist jokes. You know what I mean? So he don't feel no way. You know what I mean? But read on.
And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped a looking glass.
And you're going to be unto him as thou wiped a looking glass. Meaning that, imagine there's a glass and there's some og on the glass. If you wipe it, now you can see. And that's the white man. Once you wipe away all the lies, all the, I'm not racist, I love everyone, you're going to see that his rust ain't gone. His wickedness isn't gone, man. He was the same back then, and he's the same now, man. Read on.
And thou shalt know that his rust have not altogether been wiped away.
And there, you're gonna know his rust ain't gone. What's his rust? In what I read, his rust represents his wickedness, and you're gonna know that the white man's wickedness isn't gone, man. You know what I mean? Regardless of if he likes rap music, regardless of if he likes what you wear, regardless of them things, man, you're gonna know. No. You're gonna know that his rust is not gone anymore than that. I know, so so let's get the John Barnes part, man. You know what I mean? He shocked me. I'm not gonna lie. And you wanna know why I'm shocked? Because he's experienced racism himself. I don't know which exact team he was on, but they used to throw banana skins on the pitch. You know what I mean? He was called wog, a jig. You know what I mean? He was called all of UK's racist terms. You know what I mean? The Londoners, you fucking black cunt. You know what I mean? He's been called all those things. And then for you to defend a white man who's saying blatant racist things, he needs to examine himself, man. I don't know if he got some white girl at home that is trying to impress or something. But you know what I mean? There's no way you can read what the Liam guy said and say he's not racist, man. But yeah, let's get that.
Well, I said and say he's not racist, man. But yeah, let's
You know,
turn on the. Okay, which one goes on? This one here.
That's right. That's the one. Yeah.
He went on to tell a story of a situation where
that's right. That's the one. Yeah.
Liam Neeson was talking of. He went on to tell a story of a situation where
that's right. That's the one.
Liam Neeson was talking of.
All right. So yeah, let's get that. All right.
About his film Revenge, and he's talking about revenge doesn't do anyone any good. He mentions the fact that he brought up in Northern Ireland, he understands how destructive that can be. He went on to tell a story of a situation of our friend.
Whoa, start with that. So he's contradicting himself. He's admitting that, you know what I mean, he was raised in Northern Ireland, and that's racist. Northern Ireland is racist. I've known someone who went there and on a train, one old white woman said to them, listen, around here, we beat up the blacks. Some old white women, you know what I mean, and they was on the train all afraid, and as they got off, they just went to where they had to go. They did not mess around up there. They beat up black people. So this guy here, he's admitting that he potentially can be racist. He was raised in Northern Ireland, Northern racist island, man. So what you talking about? Like, what's the conversation even on about? You're admitting that, you know what I mean, he potentially can be racist, and that him walking around for a week wanting to fight a black man, him being raised in Northern Ireland in a racist place, can also be a part of him just being racist. But yeah, go on, play on.
I think that's what he's talking about. He's talking about in the moment, and you can't blame Liam Neeson for thinking what he feels, because this is what, and this is a while ago, this is what society has shown him that black people do, Muslims do. This is what society has wrongly shown him. This is what the media have wrongly.
Whoa, stop there. So now you see, what's it? Can you see that weakness right there? So you're saying you know that he went out there to fight any black person, meaning all black people are rapists, all black people are thieves. You're admitting that he grew up in Ireland, which is racist, and when that happened, in his anger, he thinks all black people are the same. So you know what he's thinking, and you're defending him still. So because the media may portray, so what? I didn't rape her. What's that got to do with me? You know what I mean? You got something.
He's saying that he done it in the moment. It wasn't in the moment. He done it for a week.
That's not the moment. It's true. A week's a long moment. Damn. that that's not a moment. That's a scene. You know what I mean? He did it in more than a moment. So that's a lie. It was more than a moment. Him being raised in Ireland was racist anyway. And he thinks all black people are no gooders, killers, thieves, rapists, drug dealers. And you want to do it to anyone. And you had the racism in you anyway. You know what I mean? He needs to be honest. As I said before, I don't know if he's got some white girl at home and he's trying to impress her. You know, like, no, darling. I'm going on Sky News and I'm going to talk about this. You know what I mean? I don't know. But surely he's not reading what we just read. Yeah, yes, play on.
So in that moment, he said for a week, he was going around looking to kill a black person or a black, and he did that in quotation marks. Now, what he actually went on to say is that he was ashamed and horrified by the way he felt. Yes? He's not ashamed and horrified and wanting to commit the act of revenge. He's ashamed and horrified because that is what he thought about all black people.
No,
So
sorry there. And that's a lie. I've read the article from top to bottom, and he wasn't ashamed of nothing. I can actually quote what he said. After a week, he's like, what am I doing? He didn't say he was ashamed. He's looking to help him. You know what I mean? He did not say that. After a week, he's like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? And then in the same article, which like we just read, he said, everyone isn't correct. All of us have some racism, bigotry. So he's saying he's racist. Remember, he grew up in Northern Ireland. He's racist. You know what I mean? And he admitted it. So what he's talking about, you know what I mean? He's trying to save someone that don't want to be saved. He's clearly telling you he's racist, but you're trying to make it out to be something it's not. Yeah, just play the rest.
Was wrong. That is what he said. I'm ashamed and horrified of the way I felt. Now, depending on how you want to spin this story, now it's about he was going to kill a black person.
We want to investigate.
And start right there. That's not what I got from that. So what did you get from it? Like, we just read it at the beginning of the class, and we all got the same thing. I even made Officer Karafia read the statement again. So how do you not get that from that? Like, I don't know if you can read. I mean, might have to, you know what I mean, see if you can read or not. But from reading it, he's racist. He wanted to kill any black person. So you can read it and you can get that. The problem is he don't want to see that, man.
You should wait about a white person. He wouldn't go out killing any white person. He might be pissed off. You know what I mean? He might start a fight. He wouldn't be for any white person. Why is it black man? Why is it different? Why? Because he's racist. That's why. And he thinks all black people are rapists. So it don't matter who he gets. From long as he gets one, he's avenged that. Because because they all do it anyway. They're all no-gooders. They're all bad, man. Give me that one about the heart is deceitful. Because you wonder why. He don't want to see it. It's not that he doesn't get it. He don't want to see it. And it's sad because his experience racism himself, playing for football in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. You know what I mean? Racism was bad.
So he is definitely got the Stockholm syndrome.
Most definitely, yeah. He's got it with a star, like the flying colors and the flag to even go with it, man. You know what I mean? He's got it for sure, man. About, well, with the article, I don't see. Listen, anyone can read that and get that. You want to kill any black person, that's racism. You're gonna attack an innocent man that don't know who she is because you want to avenge it on, and you want to take it out on anyone that was black. And now here's the problem. Before you do that, you might want to talk with her some more, man. First, it's not a man, then it's a black man. You mean, I think it's instead of you being angry on the street for a week, I think the real conversation needs to be with her, man. You might want to do that, you know what I mean? But yeah, read it for me.
Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things.
And listen to what the Bible says, man. The heart is deceitful above all things. John Barnes, his heart is deceiving him. You want to know why? Because he don't experience racism no more. He speaks when Man United plays. You know what I mean? He's there looking smart and intelligent, talking amongst rich white people. His heart has deceived him, man. Like, racism don't exist. You mean, come on, he's not racist. Only because the white man, to some degree, respects you. You don't want to see it. And that's why the heart is deceitful above all things. You don't want to see it, man. You're reading an article, not wanting to see it, not reading it for what it's saying. Read on.
The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked.
And desperately wicked, man. Your heart, it can get wicked, man. Your mind, it can get wicked. If you don't want to see something, your mind can get wicked and your mind can lie to you like, no, it don't mean that. I read the article, but no. You take it out of context. You know what I mean? Like, his heart's desperately wicked because he wants to love white people and he wants to maintain his job at the UEFA Cup. And you know what I mean? And he wants to do his commentary every time there's a big game. His heart gets desperately wicked. You read it. You said it yourself. He wanted to kill any black man. But. Now, when someone does that, what does that mean? They know they're wrong, but they're trying to add something else in there to compensate for it. So you know what it says racist, but you're trying to sidebar it with something else like, but. You know what I mean? He said he was ashamed and that's irrelevant. The point is, out of his racial hatred, he wanted to kill any black man. That's the point, man. Any more on that or that it?
Who can know it?
Who can know it? Meaning, who can know your mind, man? Your mind can lie to you if you allow it to. If you don't serve the Lord, your mind will lie to you, man. You'll come up with every lie every day to do what you want to do. And likewise with John Barnes, man. He wants to do what he wants to do. He don't want to admit racism. Why? Because he wants to keep his little job commentating on big like Aston Villa games, Man United games. You know what I mean? And that's sad that someone would rather do that than just say what's right. Just say, you know what? He's an open racist. His interview, he's saying he's racist, saying that, you know what I mean, inside him is racism, bigotry. He said that. No one ain't taking it out of context. It's saying what it's saying. But because you want to maintain a job, which if you don't serve the Lord, you're going to lose anyway. If you can, give a scripture about he that tries to save his life. But yeah, just read the Stockholm Syndrome as well. Stockholm
Syndrome is a condition that causes hostages.
So now hang on. It's a condition that causes hostages. Now, in these days, we are the white man's hostages. The white man has enslaved in the West Indies, man. Has us oppressed in the UK. We are his hostages, man. Oppressed in Jamaica, Trinidad, in America, South America, in Amsterdam. Wherever we are the hostages of the white man, man. Read on.
That causes hostages to develop a psychological alliance.
And what does alliance mean? A friendship. Meaning you've been around him and you've been a hostage so long that you start to mentally develop an alliance with him, thinking, you know what, we're friends. I'm going to help him. And that's what we do, man. When you got John Barnes talking about he's not racist, I've read the article and it's not saying that. You're making an alliance with your enemy, man. You got Stockholm Syndrome. You're a hostage in England. 30 years ago, you was on a pitch and they was calling you what? 30 years ago, you was on a pitch. They was throwing banana skins and doing the ooh, 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 ooh. And you had to walk back into your locker room angry. I've read his book and he was pissed off. He used to say that after every game, he would go in the locker room wanting to fight someone, was crying even sometimes. But when you got Stockholm Syndrome, even though you've been through all that, you want to make an alliance, man. You want to get on. You want to be friends. You know what I mean? But read on.
God, a psychological alliance with their captors.
With the who?
With their captors.
With the white man. With the who?
With their captors.
With the captors. And that's what Stockholm Syndrome is, man. You make an alliance with your captors, the people that have you captive, man. And that's the white man. Even though we're in England and I know what someone online is thinking, you're free. You get to go to bed when you want. No, that don't mean nothing. In England, I'm a captive, man. I work for my enemies, regardless of how much one of us may get paid. We're working on our enemy's land. We don't have a language of our own. We don't have a community of our own. East Indians own all the shops. We are captors, man. And you know what I mean? We have something called Stockholm Syndrome, where we make an alliance with the people that have captured us, man. We fight in World War I, in World War II. Even when the racists say they're not racist, We fight for them so much. As a black man, you talk about slavery to another black man. What happens? That black man gets angry with you for talking about the oppression of his grandparents. Slavery is in the past, man. What are you talking about it for? A black man gets angry with you. Why? Because he's a captor that has Stockholm syndrome, man.
God.
Read on.
These alliances, like as a survival strategy during captivity.
As a survival strategy, meaning you don't want to do it, but because you want to survive, you think it's a strategic move, meaning you don't want to be a friend with the white man, but because you want to survive, you think, well, a strategy for me to live is to make an alliance with him. You mean, I know white people are racist, but for me to get paid, I can't say he's racist. I got to read the article and say, people are taking it out of context. You look at that as well. That's a strategy. I got money to make. I got kids to feed. And what strategy do? You get along with him. You make an alliance with him, man.
Even slavery, the same strategy was used. But some slaves would back pen and run away once they were boss a secret. You know what I mean? So massive, like, yo, thanks for bossing the secret, man. You know what I mean? You can secret the big house. It's a strategy to survive. And
there you have it. And even till this day, black people don't really like white people. Like, you get them one-on-one. Sometimes they even say it, but because of the Stockholm syndrome, people want to survive, and they develop this strategy of, well, I can't really say that, you know, because I want to keep my job. I can't really say that, you know, because, you know what I mean? I want to walk down the street nice and safe, like as if that means anything. You don't say it, and white people hate your guts anyway. So what difference does it make? And that's what's happened, man. You know what I mean? The number one issue in the black community is what? We only care about ourselves. That's the problem. Yeah, there's drugs being sold. We've lost our identity. But one thing that beats all of that is us being self-sufficient. Like, well, I got to care about my family only. I can't say what's true because, you know what I mean? I want to keep my job. I got money to make, and me speaking up, that's not going to pay the rent. You know what I mean? Me being honest ain't going to keep the lights on in the house. And that's how we think, man. And that's a strategic move. Why? Because the people that have us as a active, they make us think that the only way for you to survive is if you form an alliance with me, man. That's the problem. Read on.
These alliances result from a bond formed between captor and captive during intimate time spent together.
During what?
Intimate time spent together.
And with the white man, we've spent lots of time together. We've spent 400 years together. We've spent a lot of time together. And what happens? We fight for him, man. We think there's no life without the white man. And how do I know this? Because we do camp. And whenever you say God loves black people, what does the other person say? God loves everyone. And does God love everyone really mean God loves everyone? What does that translate to really?
It means God loves white people.
There you go. They don't mean everyone. They're talking about Chinese and Indonesians. They're not talking about them. God loves everyone means, yes, you're saying that the real Israelites are black, but God loves white people too, man. That's what it really means. And that's what we do. Because we've spent lots of time together, we've made a bond with them and think, you know what I mean? Life can't be nothing without them, man. You know what I mean? We can't live with it. We can't have a kingdom of heaven without white people. Surely they're going to be in there somewhere calling shots, man. Oh, you got that one for me as well? All right, that's good as well, man. Any more on the Stockholm syndrome, or that's pretty much the kicker? All right, no sweat. All right, let's get this. So now,
back then in the 80s.
So we'll put it
even worse in the 70s.
So now, this is John Barnes, the same person that read the interview and somehow interpreted it as not racist, which blows my mind somehow. But so now he's talking about his experiences with racism. So you mean, so he used to play for football in the 70s and the 80s, and you know what I mean, he was good as well. You know what I mean, good player, scored lots of goals. But regardless of all of that, he suffered racism. So now let's watch about some of the experiences that he had.
Well, what has changed is the overt racism that we experienced as black players in the 80s, which was even worse in the 70s, which we haven't really heard because, of course, there are now directives to get people ejected from grounds.
All right, so stop right there. So now he's admitting that the racism, like who like Raheem Erling might receive, is not as bad as the 80s. And you want to know why? Because there was no law against it. Back in them days, you could make a racist chant and there was no law against it. No one saying we don't allow racism in the sports. You could be racist and nobody would stop you. You could throw your banana skins as the black guy runs past you only could do your ooh, 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 and no one would stop you because there was no law against it, which made it worse. Read up, yeah, carry on.
Necessarily heard as we used to, but that doesn't mean it's gone away. And of course, with Raheem, you can see that that's still there. But for any black person, forget about any black player, we know that it is still around. So I suppose it's a surprise to mainstream society.
All right, start this now. This part blows my mind. So he's admitting that racism is still around. So why is it when you read that article that the guy, I mean that like the interviewer writes, you're saying that's not racist. Meanwhile, you're admitting that racism is still around. That's what.
So that's the problem with black people today. We're selfish. We worry about the things that affect us. He's a footballer, so he worries about the racism that affects footballers. Meanwhile, all the black people that could have got their head bashed in with the kosh, not the problem, wasn't me. I like it. That's a problem. We are like a white man now. If you hate one white person, you hate them all. When Emmett Till died, the jury backed the killer's case. Didn't know it, but backed him. Black people don't feel like that. We're individuals, man. That's a problem.
That's right. I mean, what Officer Craft says heavy. We think about ourselves, individuals. So he's admitting that racism exists. He's saying that, but because it's not in his realm, well, that Liam guy is not really racist. We are misreading what he's saying when we just read it at the beginning of the class. But yeah, play on.
And again, when you look at what goes on in society generally, it's still the same as it always has been.
Whoa. So start with that. So he's even saying what happened in the past is still going on and has been. So how do you read the article and say he's not racist when you're admitting that racism still exists and always has been? So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know what agenda or what game plan he's got, but why are you trying to save this guy when what he said was blatantly racist? Yeah, play on.
For other people, it doesn't affect maybe white people. Whereas you ask any black person, they go through this most days, and I'm not talking about necessarily the over.
All right, so what's he talking about? He's admitting white people don't experience racism. He's saying that when you ask someone, does racism exist? You ask a white person, they will say no. Meanwhile, you ask any black person, they will say yes. So that Liam actor Hollywood guy that was walking around for a week trying to kill any black person, that's racism. And you're saying it right here, man. We got the video interview. That's evidence. So you know this happens. But then yet, a few days ago, you're like, he's not racist. We're misinterpreting this. When you're admitting that black people suffer racism, and what that guy did was act of racism, man. Walking around with a kosh for a week, willing to attack any black man, even though the person who was raped don't know if it was a man or not. But then all of a sudden knows it's a black man. You know what I mean? And you're angry for a week about a moment. That's a long moment, man. You know what I mean? That a week's a long time. Imagine that every day you leave your house with the kosh, walking around, hoping some black guy would start with you. That's deeper than the person being raped. That's racism from living up in Northern Ireland, man. That's the truth, man. Read on or play on.
Racism whereby people in the inner cities have been disenfranchised in terms of the opportunities presented to them educationally, socially. So it's no surprise. So it doesn't disappoint me. And it doesn't surprise me because very much like when things affect us, we are aware of it. So black people will talk about the racism he goes through. A black actor will talk about the lack of opportunities in terms of them getting Oscars, and Stormzy and black musicians will talk about the fact that they're not getting Grammys. However, my whole take on the whole thing is that the voice that we have, be it for him, Sterling Storms, or yourself, or any black actor, let's use that to talk about real issue of the disenfranchisement of people in the inner cities, black people in the cities not being given opportunities. Because of that.
All right, and stop right there. You see what he's saying there? That's the reason why we can never ever overcome nothing. Why are you telling them to do it? Why, you know what? Why don't you do it, man? You're trying to with Stormzy and anywhere else, Raheem Sterling. Instead of just talking about what they regularly do, why don't they talk about the issues of the black community? Why don't you do it, man? You know what I mean? You're telling them to do it. What about you? Oh, you don't want to lose your job in it. Oh, yeah. You want to do your commentaries for forever. So you're trying to throw it off on them like, you mean like it's your job, man? Talk about, you know what I mean, the racism, the opportunities. Why don't you do it? So you acknowledge it happens, but it can't be you though. Someone needs to do this, but not me though. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. He's selfish, man. He's selfish. And that's why, you know what I mean, you got to thank the Lord for the I.S.U.P.K, man, because people like him cannot lead us, man. They're selfish. How is a selfish bastard like this gonna lead you, man? He's not. He's selfish. Anything he tells you to do is gonna benefit him. It's gonna make sure his job's fine. You got some
selfish. Any racism against footballers, he's not for it. But anyone else, it's not racism, man. Anyone he likes. What when it's about football and banana peels and monkey chats, the problem. Anyone else, it's not, you know what I mean? That's not a problem. That's like with black people that a lot of black people only vote in March when their son gets stabbed. For the rest of the year, I don't see them on the streets talking about knife crime. But when their son dies and gets stabbed, then it's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a problem, man. A lot of us are selfish, man. If your son gets stabbed, my son gets stabbed.
They have it. So exactly what is he trying to, basically what he's saying is, you know what I mean? He does his thing, but anything outside of that, everyone else needs to talk about those issues, talking about gigs and Stormzy. But you're telling me your life is only in a game. Why don't you talk about it, man? So what then? Only they must risk their jobs, but you, nah, you know, I gotta keep my job. But you know what I mean? Let them talk about the black issues in the ghettos, lack of opportunities, but not me though. You know what I mean? What, in a nutshell, what he's saying is, yes, it happens, but the people that are around it, let them talk about it. Why don't you? You wasn't always rich.
The thing I don't understand, he don't even have a job.
True commentary, you can lose that anytime. Anytime. Which one does it? The UEFA is what it's on ITV Channel 3. They could one day lose their contract, and where's he going? Nowhere. You know what I mean? So he's trying to save a job which he doesn't even have anyway. You know what I mean? You got to phone about he that saved his life. It's like you just run the rest of this, then we get to that one.
I think for us to go for a while, I'm more afraid he's elbow for John Ballard to get a job, or he's elbow get an Oscar or Storms to get a Grammy. But until the average black person is treated with dignity and respect and be given equal opportunities to the average white people, nothing will change.
Yeah, so he's a hypocrite. He's admitting everything that every black man knows, and you're saying it there. So then how is it a few days ago you're jumping on interviews, he's not racist, and we interpreted it the wrong way? He's following what the media said. No, he's not. He wanted to kill any black person. He didn't mention the media. What are you talking about? He admitted growing up in Northern Ireland, it was racist. And when he found out it was a black person, you know what I mean? He went to fight any black person out of what? Out of his racism that he already had from Northern Ireland upbringing. Simple as. You got it for me.
Matthew 16:25. For whosoever will save his life.
And that's the problem, man. With Christ, he warned us about this, man. There's some people out there trying to save their life. What does it mean by trying to save your life? Save what you have. Save your nice job. Save your house. Save your wife. Save your car. And there's people that live like that. The whole thing is, I want to save my life. I want to keep doing my commentaries on the big games. Read on.
Shall lose it.
What did the Bible say?
He that shall save his life shall lose it.
And you're going to lose it, man. You know what I mean? I don't like to say it, but the Lord makes it happen. Believe me, I've seen it. People that try to save something in their life, they always lose it, man. People, you know what I mean? I got this job and I can't join the UPK because anyhow my boss sees me, and then you're gonna lose the job anyway. If you don't serve the Lord makes sure you don't have it. You know what I mean? If all things, I'm not gonna serve the Lord and I'm gonna reserve this. You don't serve the Lord makes sure you don't have it, man. And that's something that people don't understand. Whatever you have, come here and serve the Lord. And if it's the Lord's will, you will have it, man. That's what.
I just try to save my money, but I wouldn't buy something to save my money. And I still end up broke anyway. Like, the Lord make sure you use it anyway.
It's true. Like, you know what I mean? It's like this. If you don't serve the Lord makes sure you never get what you want. Don't think, I'm not going to serve the Lord and I'm going to have it. No, it don't work like that. The Lord makes sure you never have it. You don't want to serve the Lord because of your job. The Lord makes sure you lose that job, man. One day you go there and something weird happened, which even that's the Lord. You know what? That's the doing of the Lord. Like, how did that happen? Why? Because you were trying to save your life, and the Lord makes sure you lose that life, man.
God.
You know what I mean? You lose that nice car. You lose job at the UEFA Champions League games. You know what I mean? The Lord makes sure you lose all of it, man. Believe me, there's some people that are not in the UPK, and they call me all the time. I like what you like do, Just that I got a job. I'm a manager at WH Smith's. Like, wow, you know what I mean? You're way up. You know what I mean? You're way up there. And you know what I mean? I'm sorry, man. My boss can't see me on the streets, man. You know what I mean? I got kids to feed. And you want to know something? If you don't serve the Lord, you're going to lose that job anyway, man. And I say to them, I go, well, listen, if you don't serve the Lord will make sure you lose that job. So you're better off doing that job and serving the Lord, man. You know what I mean? But anyway, read on.
And whosoever will lose his life for my name's sake shall find it.
And that's the key. If you lose your life for Yahushua, you're going to find your life, man. You lose your life. You may lose your job. I'm not going to lie to you. You may lose your wife because you're hanging around with us. It may happen. Your son may hate you because he's in the mosque. That may happen. But if you lose your life, you will find your life, man. You will find the new life in the UPK with your brothers. The Lord will give you a new job, man. You're like, you know what? I even prefer this job even better, man. You know what I mean? You will find it, man. But that's the problem. People want to run and try to save something which you're going to lose. And if you lose it, you get more, man. You get much more, man. You have something.
Like, yeah, it's kind of like, people, like, I've done it myself in my short time in the truth. People say, I'm a woman and my kids and this. You know what I mean? And they just the Lord for their kids, man. Yeah, but my son needs that bike. He needs this for his birthday. I'm like, listen, brother, birthdays are around, man. You don't need birthdays. And they diss the Lord for their children. The same children grow up with Taken. Same children grow up with they never did nothing for me.
It's true.
I've seen it happen in my short time. They diss the Lord for their woman. The same woman leaves them. The Lord makes sure. But when you serve the Lord, the thing that you want, you get it. It's like Abraham. They're going to kill his son, and in return, he got the son. What he wanted, he got back.
There you go. What's the other brother? He didn't want to pay 10% of like a house that he sold. You know what I mean? He's trying to save his life. Like, that's my money. And listen, it's the law. Paying tithes is the law. Everyone in the UPK pays tithes. And you are no exception, regardless of how much you get. And you know what I mean? I'm not paying that. You know what I mean? I'm going to invest this money in business and bonds. And you know what I mean? I ain't heard nothing of it yet. You try to save your life, you lose it, man. The Lord makes sure you lose all of it, man. You know what I mean? But any more on that?
I don't know. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my name's sake shall find it. And what profit it if he shall gain the whole world? And
that's the problem. John Barnes, to some degree, he's gained the world, man. He's rich. You know what I mean? He does commentaries on all the big games, making money. I'm sure he's looked after well. You know what I mean? He's gained the world, but what benefit is it for you to gain the world, Reed?
And lose his soul.
And lose your soul. What does it mean by lose your soul? Meaning lose what you stand for, man. Lose what you represent. He knows how it is to be racially discriminated. And you lose your soul when a guy is blatantly racist and you're saying he's not racist. Everyone's misreading what he said, even though we can read. and it's saying what it's saying, you lose your soul, man, only to gain the world, only for some money, which don't mean nothing, man. You know what I mean? He was on the pitch, banana skins thrown at him, people making monkey noises, and you tried to gain the world and you lose your soul, man. We just watched one of his other interviews where he's admitting racism happens. Black people don't have the same advantages as white people. He's saying that, but when it starts to affect him, he's not racist. You know what I mean? He's trying to say he's horrified and trying to mix up what the guy's saying, man. You're losing your soul only to gain the world, man. You got something?
Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. And that's, you know what I mean? That's a bit off topic, but you know what I mean? In a lot of black households, who rules it? The woman. She's telling the man, come home at 9. Listen, man, you know what I mean? I'm going out. You're looking after them kids. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. And the Lord, he written this down so that we would know what's wrong. Everything is upside down. But read on. Oh, my people, they which lead thee.
Listen to what the Bible's saying. They which lead thee. John Barnes is a leader. Many black people look up to him. They see him as his accomplishment. A man that suffered racism. And in that same support is now high up in there, doing commentary, doing interviews, doing big things. So people look up to John Barnes as a leader. Read on.
They that lead thee cause thee to err.
And John Barnes caused us to err, man. Talking about that Liam Hollywood actor. I don't know his last name. Liam who? Neeson. Liam Neeson. Saying that he's not racist. He's causing black people to error, man. How can you read something and it's very racial and tell me it's not racist? You're causing people to error. You're causing a man who has common sense, who can read, to read and go, yeah, but Liam said, but John Barnes said, that's not racist. I'm just, you know what I mean, overthinking, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what he's doing, causing many black people to error, causing many black people to be pacified, man. Causing many black people to not be angry, to not feel no type of way, man. That's what it's doing, causing people to error. Read on.
And destroy the way of thy path.
And John Barnes is destroying the way of our path. What's the way of our paths? To separate from the white man, to know that he's racist. And how are we going to divide ourselves if a leader is saying they're not racist? It was back then, but you know what I mean, times have changed. And then in another interview, admitting that there's a big disadvantage between white people and black people. So make up your mind, man. Which one is it? Do you want to accept racism some of the time? Then you want to neglect it when it's convenient for you, man. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? And that's the problem. He's destroying our past, man. That's why you need a UPK. You call us racist, say we don't know the Bible. But a time's coming where you're going to need us, man. You know what I mean? My phone, Kraft phone's going to be ringing every day, man. It might be a job just to even answer the phone in these last days. Because what you're seeing is clear racism, whether it's America, South America, Venezuela, what's going on around there. All over the world, we're seeing racism and we need to wake up, man. This guy was from Northern Ireland, lives in England, and wanted to kill any black man for someone that raped a friend of his, man. And you know what I mean? And this ain't the last of it. There's always going to be someone else who's going to say the exact same thing. And you want to know why this happens? Because the Lord's waking you up, black man. It's not just them being honest. The Lord's giving you a wake-up call, man. The Lord set the alarm clock for you to wake up, man. Read on.
Isaiah 56 and 10. His watchmen are blind.
And that's the problem. John Barnes is blind. Like, it's funny how, you know, I don't like to say this, but I gotta say, the people that lead us, why would you even want them to even lead you? He's a football player. He doesn't know about politics. He doesn't know about the government. He's a football player. He kicked a ball around for 20 years. And he's leading you. He's leading you. You're looking up to him to be like someone who's going to lead you. He's a football player. All he knows is kicking a ball, going gym. What does he know? You're going to listen to him about racism only because he went through it. He's a football player. And even when he received racism, what did he do? carry on playing. You know what I mean? He didn't do nothing amazing. Like, you know what? I'm the best. I'm not playing no more to rate some stops. He got banana skins thrown on the pitch. What happened after halftime? Got back on the same pitch, man. And you want to let him lead you? He should not be leading nobody, man. He needs to get his mind right before he leads anybody. But read on.
His watchmen are blind.
And the blind, man. And you want to know how he's blind? Because he read the interview and said it's not racist. You got to be blind to read that and say, no, Liam Neeson, he's not racist. You got to be blind, man. You got to. Because it's saying what it's saying. And in the same interview, he's saying, all of us have the same racism and bigotry. He's saying that. And a blind man, only he can read that and go, no. We are misinterpreting it. He's saying he was ashamed. Like, he did not say that. I've read the interview, and the word ashamed is not in the interview. So he's clearly blind. Read on.
They are all ignorant.
And the ignorant, they don't know nothing. John Barnes don't know nothing. All he knows is headers, bicycle kicks, you know what I mean? Half line, offside. What's the other one? A three throw. Yeah, that's all he knows. Offside, penalty. You know what I mean? That's all he knows. He can't help you. He can't help you. He dedicated his life to a freaking sport. That's all he knows. He don't know politics and, you know what I mean, things that can uplift you. In the UPK, we learn all things, man. We know the law, politics, the last days, the prophecies in the Bible. We know more than just football. John Barnes. We know more than that. Yep, read on.
They are all dumb dogs.
And they're all dumb dogs, man. People that can't talk for themselves. We watched another interview with his, and he admitted racism exists, but he's a dumb dog. Unless someone else speaks up, he won't. He's saying a little small interview, but big ones. No, I don't think racism exists. And, you know, it's in the mind, and we misinterpret things. He's a dumb dog. Someone that can't talk for himself, man. Read on.
They cannot bark. Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber.
And they're sleeping and lying down, meaning people are comfortable. When you sleep, what? You're comfortable. If you're uncomfortable, you don't go to sleep.
God.
And John Barnes is comfortable, you know what I mean, doing his football shows. You know what I mean? He's comfortable, and that's why he can't bark.
God.
At the UPK, we bark. You want to know why? Because we're not comfortable.
God.
We see the oppression of black people, and we're not comfortable. We see black people locked up. We're not comfortable. We see black women with no man in the house. We're not comfortable. That's why we bark. Meanwhile, John Barnes and what's some other ones? Ian Wrights. They're comfortable. That's why they don't bark. Read on.
God. Loving to slumber.
Loving to slumber. Loving to just sleep and have a good time and be around white people. That's how they are. They love to slumber. They love to be asleep, ignoring reality. And don't be fooled. Even among the rich white people they hang around with, they still receive racism. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? How they make you think is, well, you know, I'm up there. People respect me like them. That's a lie. They receive racism up there. Ian Wright, his son was playing an under 16 game. And if I'm correct, Ian Wright was on the left side. A white man that was on the right side was basically looking at his son going, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then the video shows Ian Wright wanting to fight the guy. But yet in his mind, he thinks, I mean, I'm black, but I'm up there, man. I get the respect. No, you don't. When you're among them, they treat you just like a black man from Handsworth, man. They treat you just like a black man from Moss Side, from Lewisham, from Edmonton, man. They treat you the exact same way, regardless of your financial status. You get treated the same way. A white man don't care who you are. You're black. Regardless of you're rich. He thinks he's better than you, man. His four parents owned yours and built a country off the back of yours, man. So he don't feel like you're equal to him. You're still the same wug. You know what I mean? You're always going to be the same jig, man, in his eyes. Read on.
Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them.
And whose possessors do what?
Slay them.
And we are slayed by those that possess us, man. You mean, and that's the white man. He slayed us, man, castrated black men, burnt them alive, put hot wax in them. You know that was something they used to do. They'll get a black man, pour hot wax upon him, and then put feathers on him as well. You buy some books, and you can see, and the state of them is horrific, man. They slayed us. Read on.
And hold themselves not guilty.
And they do what?
Hold themselves not guilty.
And that same white man, what did he say? That's not my fault. I didn't do it. I didn't personally own no slaves. Slavery is in the past. That's how a white man holds himself not guilty. He's like, well, what's that got to do with me? Well, here's the problem. England got something to do with it. Those loans you take out the bank, where does that money originate from? Slavery. When a white man wants to start his own shop, that loan he gets from the bank, that's my money. My granddad works for that money for nothing. And that's the problem. He is guilty, even though he says he's not. Read on.
And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord.
And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord. You do know that it was Christians that enslaved white people. I mean, that enslaved black people. You do know that. And they thought God was with them. While they was whipping your back, on Sunday, there was church service. White people had church service and thought they did nothing wrong. While they killed your ancestors, burnt them alive, burnt them with hot wax, they went to Sunday church and said, blessed be the Lord, my sins are forgiven. I'm going to be in heaven with God. Meaning what? He thought he did nothing wrong. Your slave master thought he did nothing wrong. When he raped a black woman, he didn't think it was inhumane. He thought nothing was wrong with it and went to church and read the Bible and thought God was with him, man. That's why they that sell us say, blessed be the Lord. They think God's with them. Read on.
For I am rich.
For I am rich. For I am rich. Every slave master thought God's with me because I'm rich. And that don't mean nothing, man. God's going to kill the rich, man. God's going to destroy the rich. Being rich don't mean nothing with the Lord, man. Having riches ain't got nothing to do with the Lord, man. But that's what your slave master thought. When he took that money back to England and he had his nice house in London, he thought, blessed be the Lord, I'm rich, man. God's with me. Read on.
And their own shepherds.
And their who?
Own shepherds.
Own shepherds. John Barnes, Ian Wrights, David Lammies. Read on.
Pity them not.
Pity them not. To pity means to have care. Our own leaders don't even care about us, man. From as long as he can keep his job, he's not going to talk the truth. He's not going to do what we do at the UPK. He's going to lie and worm his way around it, say it's not racist. We're misinterpreting it. He pities us not. There's no care, man. If you could, get me the one where Richard Blackwood was on it. You know what I mean? Let's get that one, man. You mean Richard Blackwood ain't in the truth. But even he has enough common sense to go, that was racist, man. And there was some other Irish devil trying to defend Liam Neeson on the same show, man. You know what I mean? And we see this all the time, man. This is always going on. You know what I mean? And Richard Blackwood. Nice. All right. So, yeah, so this is from a show on ITV in the UK, you know what I mean? So the whole topic was Liam Neeson's racist row. All right, let's get that.
This, and before I start, I want to point out that everybody has been on over the last 24 hours. There was a woman who sadly passed away, who mentioned 5 years ago. This incident was 40 years ago.
All right, stop right there. And you see how evil the white man is. The topic is Liam Neeson's racism. What has he tried to do?
Straight away, he tried to put it in the past.
That too, but what did he also, the first thing he said, have in mind, this was about a woman that was raped and now is dead. It's trying to cut the racism and go, look, man, the woman was raped and she's dead. I know, but be on about the racism here. You know what I mean? Not every black man raped her. You know what I mean? We're on about the racism, but he's trying to bring it back to the rape part. Which I mean, everyone knows he said that, but everyone's on about the racism. But you see what it's trying to do? It's trying to cut the racism part and it's trying to you know what I mean, put the light just on the rape part. You mean, yeah?
I'm not making excuses for what he did.
1979. I mean, hang on. I was 14 years old then. I don't remember a Brit.
Well, I'm very proud Irishman, as Lee Neeson is. And before I start, I want to point out that everybody has forgotten over the last 24 hours that there was a woman raped.
And stop right there. You see how racist the white man is? And I'm going to give you an example. He's saying the whole reason why it happened because a woman was raped. Well, here's the problem. When the riots happened, why did the riots happen? Because Mark Duggan was shot dead. Did you know what I mean? That's the root of it. But everyone ignored that. And what did they do? Just focus on the writing. These kids are out of order. These black kids are animals. Meanwhile, why are they writing? Because an innocent black man was shot dead. Now, when it comes to this racism thing, what's he doing? Have in mind, this is about a woman that was raped and now is dead. Trying to say, listen, I think we're forgetting the main point. So why is it when it's us? Well, you know, guys, you lot are writing. You lot are animals. Meanwhile, when you mention Mark Duggan, what happens? White people go, oh, gosh. Bloody hell. When he's doing what we're doing, but for some reason it seems to be justified with him. But when we do it with us, well, nah, man. You mean the writing was bad? But let's focus on Mark Duggan, though. You know what I mean? But yeah, play on.
Like you mentioned 5 years ago. This incident was 40 years ago. Britain was a very different place the way it is now, similar to Ireland. I'm not making excuses.
Sorry there.
1979.
So now he's admitting Ireland is racist. He's trying to say, like, as if now it's something different. Ireland's racist still. I've been to Ireland for a few days, and you know what I mean? While I was there, one devil, I didn't fully hear what he said, but said like black something like, I was in a pub. I got something to eat, and it's with some friends, and I heard something, but I couldn't vaguely fully get what he said. So Ireland's still racist now. So what are you talking about? So he's trying to like, well, have in mind, Ireland back then. So that means you know it's racist. If you're saying how Ireland was back then, how was Ireland back then? It was racist. So basically, they're admitting that he's racist and that him wanting to get them black people was partly racially influenced too. That's what.
The wickedest thing is Irish are racially discriminated against the British. No, the British racially discriminate against Irish. Even though the Irish are hated by the British, they still find time to hate against you as a black man.
There you have it.
Because, you know, in the 60s, when I came to this country, you couldn't go into Irish pub.
See, it's mad because
you get beat up.
See, the British would say no Irish in this pub. So even though the Irish were oppressed by the British, they still oppressed you.
There you have it. There you have it. I don't know if you heard it, but what Officer Krafia and Agawal was saying is that, you know what I mean? Okay, with the British, they hated the Irish people. Facts. There's old signs where it says no dogs, no Irish, and no blacks. And even amongst all that, Irish people still found time to hate us though. Even though the British was oppressing them, they still found time to hate black people. But yeah, let's play on.
No, absolutely. What he did.
I mean, hang on. I was 14 years old then. I don't remember a Britain in 1979 which thought there was.
You weren't in Britain. He wasn't in Britain. He was in Ballymena. You were never in the north of Ireland. Well, you know the atmosphere in the north of Ireland. Why people were brought up in the north of Ireland?
Actually, yes, because I had family members who were there.
He was in a situation where people were dying on a regular basis.
Yes, but no,
and a Catholic
I do not remember when it's fine. I do not remember when it's ever been considered remotely acceptable for a white man to prowl the streets of Northern Ireland.
It's not acceptable.
Wait. The practice is not for a week, not a day or an hour.
I don't think this incident happened in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
I think it happened in Britain because in Northern Ireland at the time there probably wasn't any.
Well, we don't know where it happened. You won't say it. You should say, right? But I don't think it's ever been considered acceptable to do this, right? Outside of Ku Klux Klan stuff in the
Absolutely.
That's not right there.
And here's my point.
Now, I don't agree with the host on the left, but it's right. That's unacceptable. You know what I mean? We all get angry, but to attack anybody, that's wrong, man. You know what I mean? I've been angry and I want that person. I don't just go, you know what, I'm getting any Indian person. I don't care. You don't do that. Regardless of your anger, you got common sense. So it's racist. You want any black person, man. That's what it is, man. And people just are too afraid to say it, man. That's what it is.
But what's disgusting is a white man is saying it's unacceptable when John Barnes is saying it's cool. John Barnes saying it's not racist. When a white man is saying that's unacceptable, man. And you know what I mean? John Barnes for shaming himself. A white man is saying it's unacceptable, and John Barnes is saying it's not racist, man.
That's right. That's unacceptable. A white man who hates us, even he's like, to be fair, that's just unacceptable. And a black man who suffered racism, have that in mind, is saying that's not racist. But yeah, let's play on.
Review. My thing is this: white people that are watching, don't think that if you have prejudiced views that black people do not know. We're not stupid. We know you might have black friends and you have these views. We know you're racist. We're not stupid.
Oh, I started there.
So
now I like, you know what I mean? He's not in the truth, but I'm gonna lie, I like him. You know what I mean? It's true. Black people ain't stupid. We know white people are racist. And it's true, like, you know what I mean? We pretend and try to like, we're all fine. Every black man knows white people are racist, man. Everyone. You mean, for you to believe they're not racist, you really got to shut your eyes and hide your eyes to a lot of things, man. I mean, anyone can see it, man. But yeah, let's play on.
John Barnes is my friend. I love him. But you don't deserve a medal for the fact that you're being honest about something that we already know. Right? I mean, we know. And to say that he's not, would you say he's not racist? Or, I don't believe he's racist. Okay. So I do believe what he did and the actions and the thoughts that he did are racist thoughts. But I don't believe he is a person. So if I have, if I have thoughts of what raping a woman, does that make me not raping? No, but hold on a second. If you have thoughts of raping a woman, they're very dark thoughts. If you don't, if you never act on them, you need to get professional.
Alright, it's already there. And that white man's a devil, man. You know what I mean? All right, now, Richard Black said a valid point. So if I have thoughts of raping someone, what does that make me a rapist? And he's like, well, not quite, because you ain't acted on him. If that's the case, then that Liam Neeson guy, he acted on it. He walked the streets for a week, which makes him racist. So he's even contradicting himself. He is racist then, because he went to get any black person and he acted upon it. The same way as a rapist is mine as rapist thoughts, which qualifies him to be a rapist. So what's he talking about? Liam Neeson is obviously racist then. Play on.
I thought Liam
But you don't need professional help for all of that. If you
can I just make a point about, I thought Liam Neeson yesterday would come out and say, you know what? I said that in the interview for dramatic effect. Of course,
when something happens to a black person, it's always, let's move on. It's like, no, let's stay here.
No, I'm not.
I started there. You know what I mean? But now, he's not in the UPK, but we've been saying that since 1969. Why is it, when it comes to us, it's in the past, God forgives? No, like, how about we just hang on it a little bit more and let's discuss it? Anytime you mention, you know, in the West Indies, VP came, God, here we go again. That slavery talk, man. Gosh, 2019, I'm still going about this. Bloody hell. No, man, why is it, when it's us, we gotta let it go and just forget about it? Meanwhile, Irish people remember their stuff, man. The British remember their history, but yours just has to be forgotten. You gotta let yours go. Yours is lingering around, man. Come on, man. You know what I mean? And Richard Blackwood is right for what he's saying. The problem is society, they make it acceptable to ignore black issues. Meaning, as a black man, you're suffering. You want to talk about the suffering that you're going through. Oh, here we go again. Listen, man, you know what I mean? All you people do is complain. Meanwhile, everyone complains. Every nation complains, but yours just has to be forgotten. Yours must be pushed in the past. Why can't I talk about mine right now, man? Yeah, play on.
Okay, let me answer. Right, the first thing you're saying is that we should move on. Moving on is not addressing the situation. Right, every time something happens to a black person, it's always, let's move on. It's like, no, let's stay here.
No, I'm not one of the voices. I'm not one of the voices.
You're doing it again. I'm not being rude to you. Okay, so the bottom line is that one thing that no one has addressed is that he said that he felt ashamed for the revengeful act that he was going to carry out with the McKinnon. Did he say he was ashamed that he referred to black people as black bees?
No.
Thank you. So let me hear your argument.
There you go.
I don't need an argument.
All right. Now, first off, the one on the right's ham, so she shouldn't even be there anyway, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? She got no relevance there. And it's still a valid point. You know what I mean? Well, allegedly said he's ashamed. I've read it. The words ashamed ain't there. He said after a while, I was like, what am I doing? Like, you know what I mean? After done it for a week. But the black bastard part, I'll say it here. He never apologize for that. Like, you can't call people in England black bastards. That's racist. And he never apologized for that, though. You got some.
On the back of that, this girl's an African, man. What does she know about oppression, man? You know what I mean? We became for Hampshire after that called Gulliver, being Windrush, sent home. Africa, doing good in England, man. Africa, their own shops, their own restaurants. White man look African, man. She ain't authorized to talk about any black plight or any black problems in England, man.
And you want to know something? That's why when he said when it comes to black people, there's always this thing of it's in the past. Did you hear what she said? I don't agree with that, of course, because you're not us. Exactly. You don't go through that. You don't go through the same things that we go through. So of course you wouldn't agree because no one ain't saying that to you. God. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So you wouldn't agree because that's not your story. That's our story as a black man. You mentioned one black issue. If you even get there, automatically white people try to, you know what I mean? They try to basically sedupe it instantly. You ain't even mentioned it yet, but just say you're about to get there. Just say, you know, you're talking about being poor, oppression, and slavery is getting there. All of a sudden, what happens? A white man shuts it off. Conversation done. Like, I mean, he don't want to hear it. And that's the problem. Your things get pushed in the past.
Yeah, because she's dark skinned, she's authorized to what black people problems, man. But she ain't. She don't know about riots. She don't know about cutting cane. Her foreparents sold us. She don't know nothing. She ain't authorized to talk about anything, man.
That's right. And off the back of that, in West Africa, I don't know if you heard of it. Who's heard of the gates of no return? Who's heard about that? The gates of no return. Right. Does anyone know why it's called the gates of no return?
Is that what they sold us to the white man and go for the gates and straight onto ships?
There you go. It's called the gates of no return. So meaning us slaves in Ghana, it's by their docks. They even have a memorial of it right there. It's like a fancy gate where the slaves they would go, and it's called the gate of no return because once you're there, you ain't coming back. You're going to Jamaica, you're going to America, you're going to Montserrat, Antigua, Guyana. You know what I mean? You're going somewhere else. And her ancestors, they're part of that, man. Putting our people in past the gates of no return. So of course you wouldn't feel what he's saying about there's this notion of let's put things in the past because you're not us. Play on.
No, but that's the point. You're saying let's move on.
When I say move on, the last 24 hours has been spent with the whole world debating whether or not he's racist. But my point is, my point is, yes, it's a good thing. Yes, it's a good thing. But my point is, that is not the solution to the fact that there's probably somebody else on the street about to hurt another black person. Or listen, how do we deal with this issue?
I'll tell you how. Okay, I would say this to that. I would say that I think we have come a long way in combating racism in this country.
No, really. It exists to the point.
Right. Yeah, let's just skip to the main.
Did you tolerate how racism is disgusting? But I want to point out that Liam Neeson over the last 24 hours, because of his honesty, this is not a gotcha moment. This is not a moment where we found out something about Liam Neeson that we didn't know before and he was trying to hide.
Whoa. So sorry there. So that means people know racist. That guy, this white guy here, he's a friend of his, and he said it. He goes, "You mean him being racist? That's something that people already know." Am I misinterpreting it? Remember, he grew up in Northern Ireland in the 60s, and you know what I mean, them eras were racist, man. So you mean, believe me, he hates black people already. So that week-long revenge is more than the rape. He don't like it anyway, man. And that's something that people are struggling with to admit, man. But yeah, play on.
I've done it in a present.
We are human beings. There's a very dark side to people when they suffer from depression, when they suffer from revenge, as he talks about. Yeah. There's dark sides to human beings. And if you look at studies in relation to human beings are 7 times more likely than any animal to kill each other. This is the thing that annoys me.
is that you always get people that are not of color trying to tell black people how they should react to something that has been said. You're trying to tell us how we should feel about it. No.
Black people are telling the world.
No. But here's the thing, because we're the ones that were called black.
Yeah.
You just said, right, I was fair to you. You just said, was Azalea Banks called that as an Irish person? It hurt you, didn't it?
Well, I personally speaking, no, because I do a talk show. I don't get offended. I don't get offended. No, I'm actually surprised.
You spoke up on Twitter. You spoke up rightly so. But
I said, what's your name was Bob?
You're doing it again. Why you cut me? Because you know I'm actually hitting a nerve.
No, I mean,
I started there. And that's right. Richard Blackwood is hitting a nerve. For those that don't know, Azealia Banks, there's the black one, and there's an Irish woman that does some R&B, if I'm correct. Rap. And you mean she was called an offensive Irish word, and he stuck up for her. But now, when it comes to us, and we're called black bees, all of a sudden now he's not racist. You know what I mean? We're taking it the wrong way, and he's right. Who are you to tell me how I should receive information? So I can read it. I got eyes. I can read. I can spell. But no, don't take it like that. You know what I mean? You're reading into it too much. That's the problem with black people. You're taking it the wrong way. Meanwhile, when someone from your homeland island, they was racially abused, you was upset. You took it how you wanted to take it. But now when black people read what I'm here to say, don't take it like that. You know what I mean? You're taking it wrong. He's not racist. And then in halfway through this debate, you're saying he's racist, so make up your mind. You play on.
Well, surely they can see that. So the bottom line is that you spoke up for Irish people because you knew that they were hurt by what she said, because it was clearly wrong. So when a black person says he was clearly wrong, you're going, oh, it's a bit different. It's like there's no.
It is very different.
You see that there? No. The white man's the devil, man. You know what I mean? White man's the devil. You know what I mean? Let me make it clear. He made a valid point. Racism. You defended one person when a racist statement was made. Now, when a racist statement is made for us, it's different. It's different. No, it's not. It's the same, man. Just that because the white man's the devil and full of pride, it can't admit it. It can't admit. You know what? You're right, man. Racism. So Liam Neeson, he's wrong, man. But because he's a friend of yours and he's white, let's keep that in mind. He's not racist. It's different, man. The white man's the devil, man. Trust me. Right. Yeah, player.
It was intentional. She intended to upset you. Hang on. He said this is something that happened 40 years ago. Hang on. It was a week in his life. Hang on. So the difference is that he said it was a week in his life where he had dark thoughts. Please let me finish. Wait a minute.
Nah, so he's trying to say what makes it right is it was a week in his life, just a bad time. That's not the point. Racism's racism, but he's trying to sidebar it. You know, he was oppressed. It was a week in his life. That's the same thing. That's all.
You see what happened here now, right? It's the white man sticking up for his white race. So why did John Bond didn't talk like this white man? That's why I don't understand.
You want to know why? Because he's trying to save his life. That's why, like we read in the Bible, he's trying to save his life and he's gonna lose it. You know what I mean? You have something crafted.
No, I was saying something.
I also let's just play the bits of this and then.
Wait a minute. Listen. I'm a 53-year-old, soon to be 54-year-old white man. I have never had a second in my life where I've wanted to go around the streets looking for a random black man to kill. Well, I haven't. I'm sorry. I've never done sorry, but anyone that does that is a murderous intent. Okay, but let me ask you a question.
There you go.
On my show recently, that if anybody harmed my partner, if anybody harmed my children, I would get a gun and I would put a bullet in their head.
Now, guess what?
If anyone hit his partner, he'll go around and shoot him. That's cool. But the problem is they lose to look for any black man, not the person that.
And you want to know something? Not trying to make it redundant. He knows it's common sense. Even what he's saying, I will go for them. I'll put a bullet in their head, meaning that person. You're not saying, well, if any race rape one of my people, I'm going to go and get any of them. You're not saying that. So you know what Liam Neeson did is wrong. You know that is unacceptable. But again, you're trying to make an excuse for him. simply because he's white, and white people stick up for each other.
Yes.
Even if they don't even know each other, they know, listen, I'm white, he's white. We gotta make it work, you know what I mean? But here's the problem, when are we gonna do that, man? You know what I mean? I'm watching him do it, and they're doing it well. They're trying to justify him, trying to say it was a sad week in his life. You know what I mean? He was depressed because she was raped. Forgetting the fact that he didn't apologize for calling people black bastards. He didn't say, you know, I'm sorry for that, using that terminology. He didn't say that. You know what I mean? He's not apologizing for nothing else. He's not apologizing, but because of the love that white people have for each other, they're apologizing on his behalf, man. They're trying to make it seem as vague and as light as they can. You know what I mean? Yeah, just play the rest of that, then we get to what you got as well.
I'm going to speak right now. Can I just say, these are two different things. Yes, there's a vengeance when someone close to you is hurt, but there's a difference here. He said, and this is why I don't want to get into this whole debate, Robert, but let's get into this point. He said he went out looking for any black man.
Yeah.
It was irrational. That way, it's not just irrational, it's
So you're saying it was racist?
Whoa. So now we're saying it was racist, but he was saying it was racist, but he's not racist. What stupidity is that? Racist people do racist acts. You can't do something racist and not be racist. You do something racist because you are racist. So Liam Neeson is racist, man. Yes, let's play the rest of this thing. Then we get into the Bible.
Can we even go back to the fact of you said 40 years ago? Yeah. I grew up in a time, right, where Roots came on TV in the 80s and the 90s. Okay, it was a great film, right? Okay. We as young kids at the time that we were still knew that not all white people were evil. So how is it that we were able to make that judgment at 8, 9 years old?
That's right.
But he in his 20s.
Do you think the black people during slavery assumed that all white people were evil?
No, they didn't. They didn't. No.
Black people lived it.
You gave a prime example of the fact that you're speaking for something you can't understand.
What was the first? Let me ask you this. What really disturbed me about Liam Neeson's revelation was it came in the middle of a press junket to promote a movie in which he's trying to say vengeance is a bad thing. The movie glorifies vengeance, as most of his recent movies have done, taken and so on. It's totally hypocrisy. So he's doing this to get
yeah, we can end on that. In your own time, you can watch the rest, you know what I mean? But as much as they're talking, we're going to get into the Bible, man. You know what I mean? Which is a book that matters, man. You know what I mean? Richard Blackwood made some good points and all, but let's listen to what God has to say about this, man. Yeah, let's get that.
Isaiah 21:4, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
And that's the Lord, man. He's talking about us, man. All the affliction, all the oppression, all that is going to wipe away, man. Us as a race of people in England, in America, we've been bothered, man. You know what I mean? We've been upset. And the Lord's going to wipe every single ear away, man. Us as a nation of people going through this right now, slavery in the past, in the 60s, the Windrush, getting oppressed. Many families had to sleep in one bedroom, man. Read on.
Khan, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying.
And there shall be no more death. What death is that talking about? Of course, humans, it's a natural course that we die. The death is talking about how we die, being shot, being stabbed, being racially beat to death. Liam Neeson. You know what I mean? Things like that. There's going to be no more death, man. In the kingdom, we're not going to have no more of this, man. And that's what we need to be striving for. We've been striving in England for too long, man. We've been fighting the cause for England for way too long. And what do we get? More racism, more oppression, more affliction, showing the black man that what? This ain't your home. This ain't your land. Yes, you're here, but know what it's about. Look at every other nation. They're in England too, but they set up things in Pakistan, set up homes in India. And what are we doing, man? We treat England like it's home. Even though we're of this world, even though we're in the world, we're not of the world, man. And that's how we're meant to be. Any more on that?
God. Neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
For the what?
former things are passed away.
So what's some of these former things, man? Racism, man. The former things of the white man wanting you dead, taking out his vengeance on you as he feels. And let me make it clear, you do know if he was to attack any random black person back then, nothing would have happened. It would have probably beat up a black man who's unaware, and the police wouldn't arrest him. All I say is one of them raped her, and they would let him go, even if he did do it. And that's us, man. We get the pain. You mean? And what makes it even more painful as well is that you can't even talk about it. If you're in pain, don't you have the right to vent? If someone's upset, don't they have the right to vent? And you don't. You're oppressed and you can't even vent it. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. It's in the past. Liam Nielsen, he never meant that. Don't talk about it. Accept it as this. And that's the problem. You're in pain and you can't even vent. That's the problem that we have. You see racism. You go through it every day and just shut up. Don't even talk about it, man. Again, this racist talk, man. This equal opportunity. We got a law. What's that law? What's it called? The Equal Opportunity Act.
Equal.
Yeah, meaning you mean every job must equally employ people or that.
But that was what it
Well, it's meant to, but of course it don't. No, there's a Equal Right Act. There's a Racial Discrimination Act, and there's a Sex Act, meaning that you can't just give a job onto a man if a woman applies for it. So even though in England there's all these laws, come on, they're not following them. It's there, but are they applying it? Are they living by it? No, they're not, man. We're the people that get all that pain. Read on. Is it? And we got one, save your soul, shall lose it. Give me one in Isaiah about where is the oppressor, or we are afraid of the oppressor like he's ready to destroy. Please, Isaiah 51, I'll find it. One second. Isaiah 51 or 52. Second. I got it. That's right. Well, give me verse 12.
Isaiah 51 and 12. I am he that comforteth you.
So listen to what the Lord's saying. I am he that comforteth you, meaning if you want to get comforted, it's the Lord. Now the comfort ain't no hug or something like that. The hug is no, the comfort is the protection of the Lord, saying that it's me that comforts you, it's me that protects you, man. You mean it's the Lord, not no white man, not John Barnes. He can't comfort none of us. You mean he's trying to save his life? He's too busy trying to save his life, let alone comfort you. You get that? Read on.
Who art thou, that thou shouldest be afraid of a man? That thou, Sakia, that shall die?
And that's the problem. We are afraid of a man that shall die. Our people are afraid of the white man, where you don't want to even talk about racism. You don't want to talk about oppression that white people have done to black people. You know what I mean? Like, even on the job, you talk to a black person about black issues. How do they act? They don't want to even be seen by you. Like, listen, white man, listen, man, that's him. You know what I mean? He's talking that black talk, not me. You know what I mean? I just want to live and everyone's equal. They want to even separate themselves. You know what I mean? And that's them. You wonder why? They are afraid of a man that shall die, man. And that man is the white man. Read on.
And the Son of Man, we shall be made as grass. And forgettest the Lord thy maker.
And that's the problem. Do you want to know something? When you fear a man, you forget the Lord. Now, how do you do that? How does you being afraid of the white man make you forget the Lord?
Like people just for a job, cut their beard bald just for a job. They forget what the Lord said. The Lord said, come here, Because the white man wants to get a job, you've got.
That's right. Out of you being afraid, you do what the white man says, man. You don't want to join the UPK because of the white man. That's really what it is. You don't want to lose the job that the white man gave you. You know what I mean? Why? Because you're afraid of him. And you being afraid of him, you forget the Lord, man. You can't serve the white man and the Lord, man. Read on.
That have stretched forth the heavens.
And hang on, so you forget the Lord that stretched forth the heavens, man. You're afraid of the invention of the Lord. Meanwhile, the Lord made the heavens. You're going to let this white man tell you, forget about slavery. Liam Neeson ain't racist. You're interpreting the information wrong. That's the problem with you black people. You're interpreting as racist. Meanwhile, he said black bastard and I'm black. I interpret it how I want to because he's talking about me. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. And we're that afraid. We let him interpret information and we accept it, man. Read on.
And laid the foundations of the earth. And has feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor.
And that's the problem. That's the problem that we have. We are afraid of the oppressor, man. Black people are afraid of white people. I don't care how much you're in the gym, how much you do your MMA, your boxing. Mentally, a lot of us are afraid of the white man. What he says goes, and you forget the Lord. You're afraid that he might be angry with you. You talk about black issues on your job. He might hear me. I'm afraid. I might lose the job. You know what I mean? You're afraid, man. And you shouldn't be afraid of no man. You need to be afraid of the Lord, black man. That's who you need to be afraid of. You're in the condition you're in right now because of the Lord. You're in that condition because you ain't afraid of the Lord, man.
Right.
You're living in a council house because you ain't afraid of the Lord. Your son's locked up because you ain't afraid of the Lord, not because you're afraid of some white man. You're in the predicament you're in because you don't fear the Lord enough, man. That's the problem. Read on.
Because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he was ready to destroy.
And you're so afraid. It's like as if he's going to destroy you right now. You're afraid of him like he's gonna act ready to hack you. Like nah, listen, I'm a job. I don't want to talk no black stuff, man. I don't want him to hear, man. You know, yeah. I've done it, you know what I mean? I've been on the job and I'm not shy, you know what I mean? I tell people, you know what I mean? I'm part of the UPK, Hebrew Israelites. And when you start mentioning black stuff, that black man gets uncomfortable, you know, like, see if any white people are hearing, like, yeah, man, black power, man, yeah, good, man, good. And yeah, man, I gotta go to work, you know, I gotta start now, you know. He's afraid of the oppressor, like he's ready to destroy him right now. like it's like as if you can't talk no black talk on the job. Indians talk Indian talk. They talk about India and the Bollywood shows, you know what I mean? They do all that and they're not afraid. So why are we? Why is it we can't talk black issues on a job? I'm not saying it to the white man. I'm talking to you, innit? And you're black, so what's the problem? And he's all uncomfortable in his skin. Yeah, man, I gotta start working. Yeah, man, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, bless, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, you're cool, man. And then, if you notice, from that one day, he don't want to talk to you ever again. You know what I mean? You can't be seen by him like, yeah, man, cool, bye. Like, ain't making me lose my job with that black talk. Forget that. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. You're afraid of the white man, man. Read on.
And where is the fury of the oppressor?
And where is it? Where is it, man? You know what I mean? You're afraid of him, and where is it? Guess what? That oppressor, he can't do nothing to you, man. You serve the Lord. His anger don't mean nothing, man. You know what I mean? Funny enough, since you're on it, at the slavery I've got, one guy asked me, like, I seen you one time, you know what I mean? You're wearing some kind of garment and you're talking some black talk, and yeah, what? Yeah. You see me and what? Well, what's the problem? You don't ever let no white man make you afraid and you start lying. I'm a Christian. I'll just teaching, you know what I mean, the love of God. No. You know what I mean? This is what I do, and you don't deny Christ for nobody, man. Never. You got some.
All people are so afraid. What we don't know is the white man can't do
No.
No, they found out that you teach the black knowledge, you know, on the high street. That's it. What can I do? Like, family come to work and do your job properly, you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
We're so scared. Oh, no, I can't do this. Can't do nothing. Not a thing you can do. You know what I mean? There's white men in the BNP that have their regular jobs and no one has that job.
That's right.
You carry out your work that the white man employs to do. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. All what your employer wants is you to show up, get the job done. What you believe, what you think, keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? Simple as, you're telling me in a lot of the slaveries we've got, people ain't racist. People got certain racial views, but they're smart enough to know, listen, I'm just doing this job. I keep it to myself. And you never know. One day I might see them in a BNP march or something. You never know. But can I wrong him for that? No. That's his personal belief. As long as he don't come to work and call me a wag, what's the problem? And that's it. But us as black people, we think, no, I don't have my own life. My life is this job, and whatever he wants, I gotta do. Whatever he likes, that's what I must do to make him happy, man. And that's the problem. You know what I mean? We're afraid of someone that can't do nothing. There's no law against what you believe, what you think, man. Just don't bring it to work. There is a law against that. You know what I mean? If you try to convert someone at work, that's a crime. If they go, you know, I'm uncomfortable, you know, he's always approaching me, talking this Israelite talk, you can lose the job because of that. Because what's it called? Religious harassment. That is a crime. But from as long as you don't do that, no one can't say nothing. No one can't wrong you, man. So you know what I mean? You can do what you want, and no oppressor, no enemy can do nothing to you, man. They can see you on the high street, blazing under a microphone in a nice garment, and you show up on time the next day. I saw you, okay, what? Well, I'm on time for work, so what's the problem? Have a nice day. And you do what you gotta do, man. He can't do nothing to you. Just read the end of that and then get to it. Yeah, 51 and in the middle of 13.
Isaiah 51 and 13. And forget the Lord thy maker, that stretched forth the heavens and laid the foundation of the earth, and has feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy. And where is the fury of the oppressor? And
guess what? It's nowhere, man. The fury of the oppressor, it's nowhere. You know what I mean? You serve the Lord. What fury of oppressor? Who? Like, you know what I mean? It's nothing to you. And that's the problem. With us serving the white man for so long, we think he runs your life. You don't have no opinion. You don't have no thought. It's his way or no way, and damn that, man. At the UPK, I have the Lord's thoughts, man. I have the opinions of the Lord, and you can't take it from me. There's nothing you can do that can change my mind, man. I'm going to serve the Lord to the death. Forget no oppressor. Forget his anger, his rage. I side with the Lord, man. And you are going to see me in a camp, and there's nothing you can do about it, man. You know what I mean? I'm going to show up on time, hand you the paperwork, hand you back the keys, and have a nice day. And you ain't doing nothing to me. And that's how you're meant to be. When you serve the Lord, forget what anyone thinks. Forget what the oppressor and how you should receive informations on Liam Neeson. Forget about that. You know what I mean? You have your opinion. You can read. Don't let him interpret it and say, well, he's not racist. He is racist, man. And with that, I'm handing the class over to priest and officer of 5,000, Karakia.
Of class with I.S.U.P.K security announcements with the I.S.U.P.K started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohanna. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will call each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10 from the Hebrew Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or the teacher. Priest fund, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, Purim, February 18 and 19, man, make sure you're there, man. 294 Lodge Road, B18, 5 PW, or ask them to the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a troop in the school, start checking all I.S.U.P.K social media. If anyone wants to be a troop in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and headscarf. With that, I imagine is rise. The Lord's Prayer. And Abanawa,
Abanawa,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Kodash,
Kodash,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Malakavka,
Malakavka,
Taba'ah,
Taba'ah,
Ratazaka,
Ratazaka,
Hayah,
Hayah,
I.S.H.U.P.K,
I.S.U.P.K,
Baratazak,
Baratazak,
Kawar,
Kawar,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Bashemayim,
Bashemayim,
Nafananawa,
Thundernawa,
Lakam,
Nakam,
Cow,
Cow,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Wasalaknawa,
Wasalaknawa,
Kabawafnawa,
Kabawafnawa,
Kasalaknawa,
Kasalaknawa,
Kabawafnawa,
Kabawafinawa,
Wala'ah,
Wala'a,
Tabi'ainawa,
Kabayainawa,
Banasayawan,
Bansayawan,
Abba,
Abol,
Hawashainawa,
Kabushainawa,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Right,
Right,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Hamalakwa,
Amalakwa,
Waha'ala,
Waha'ala,
Wahafapara,
Wahapara,
La'awalamyan,
Awalamyan,
Aman,
Aman, and in the English, our Father,
our Father,
which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done
in earth, as it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us today
our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not
into temptation. But deliver us.
But deliver us
from evil.
From evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it. Yeah, one can speak to the teacher, Madam Bishop and Madam Shabbat. I Madam Barak. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yajamata. Class dismissed.